So, chapter 22, Wilbia. In this chapter, we saw uh, those two uses of the genitive I mentioned last time, the genitive of characteristic or description and the partitive genitive. We saw that in the grammar, also called the genitive of the whole. More importantly, we saw perfect active participles. Right? So, uh, back at the end of last year, we saw present active participles. And then last chapter, we saw perfect passive participles. And now we see perfect passive participles. Sorry, perfect active participles. And perfect active participles, they look just like perfect passive participles, but they come from a special class of verbs known as deponents. And just like with a perfect passive participle, it is the last principal part of their verb. Deponent verbs only have three principal parts, so it's technically the third principal part, but it's still the last one. The difference is that instead of being perfect and passive, it's going to be perfect and active. So it's going to be having done something, not having been done. So having, there in line 4 there in Gressus, having entered, not having been entered. Right? So deponent verbs we'll learn more about in a later chapter. Right now, they're just giving you the perfect active participles that come from them. Right? So the first and second adjectives, they certainly resemble perfect passive participles. They just come from a special class of components that, in general, they're going to look like they're passive but have active meaning. So it looks like a perfect passive participle but has an active meaning, right? We talked about all this, of course. So in this reading, the first reading, I have highlighted the participles. They're mostly perfect active participles. And of course, as always, I underlined the verbs in red. So the first paragraph, Vilbia et rubria paculus ordida levantes in colina tabernae garievant. Hi prolae erant filiae latronis, latro qui tabernam tenebat erat vir magna diligentiae, sed minimae prudentiae, latro cleanum ingressus, quelas castigabat. Okay, so the first verb is garievant, so like we're chattering. So what's the nominative here? So it's got to be Wilbia and Rubria, right? Not surprisingly, they come first. So Wilbia and Rubria were chattering. Wilbia and Rubia lawantes. That is a present active participle. Remember, it has nt plus a third declension ending. Es, because it's nominative plural, is modifying Wilbia and Rubria. So Wilbia and Rubria lawantes, washing. Remember, present active participles end in ing in English. Washing the dirty cups, which must be what gender? Has to be neuter, right? A plural A is neuter. Right? That's what we talked about many times. So washing the dirty cups. So we're chattering in culina tabernae. So in the kitchen, right? Ablative, object of a space. In just means in here. Tabernae, of the shop. Right? So tabernae here is genitive, right? Linked to culina with the of idea, the culina of the tabernae. Okay. Hi prolae erant filiae latronis. So erant is our verb. The nominative is hi prolae. Remember the he, kai, code pronouns are this or these. So these girls were filiae, daughters, latronis, clearly a third declension genitive singular. So daughters of latro. His name means robber. It's kind of an unfortunate name for a shop owner. Latro qui tabernam tenebat. So Latro, who tenebat was possessing the shop. So it was his shop. Relative clause, of course, modifying latro, was aware magna diligentiae, said minimae prudentiae. So magna diligentiae, minimae prudentiae, all genitive, right? And these are genitive of description. He's a man of great diligence, care, industry, but little prudence or wisdom, right? So they're all descriptions of the weir. So genitive of description. Latro, cleanum, ingressus. This is a perfect active participle. Right? Why is it perfect active and not perfect passive? Because it comes from a deponent verb. So latro, having entered the kitchen. Right. One way to tell a perfect active from a perfect passive participle is that a perfect active could have a direct object, culinum. That's what we have here. Where a perfect passive might have our op something with it. Right? They're clues. So Latro, having entered the kitchen, was scolding the girls. Right, so multis and pocula sordida, we saw that above, a genitive, neuter plural. So many are the dirty cups. So there are many dirty cups, probably is what we'd say in English. Next verb, eubeo, I order. Okay, I order the accusative to do the infinitive, right? We saw accusatives with infinitives before. So I order you to wash the accusative, pocula, right? Plural A because it's neuter. Wash the cups, quam celerime, as quickly as possible. We've seen quam with superlatives, meaning as blank as possible before. Laborate, nullite gerire. So laborate, nullite, they're both imperative verbs, right? Nolo, nullite from nolo, and laborate from laboro. So laborate is a command to more than one person to work, because there's two girls here, so he's using the plural form, laborate. Then nullite, remember, it's from nolo, but when you pair it up with the infinitive, it's one way to do a negative command in Latin. So nullite gerire is don't chat. Loquaciores estis, remember estis is you, plural R. So you are loquaciores, which of course is comparative, right? IOR plus a third declension ending. So you are more talkative, and then quam with the comparative means than, you recall. You're more talkative than psittaki, so more talkative than parrots. Latro haec verbo locutus exiit. So latro, exiit. He went out. Remember the double I's is the perfect of to go. He went out. Then locutus is modifying latro. So having spoken, haec verba, these words, right? Neuter plural again. Verba. Right? Haec, you recall, is a neuter plural from the he, kai, coke pronoun in the accusative plural. So next paragraph. Vilbia tamen quae pulchra et obstinata era patrum flacina faciebat. Pacula non lavit, sed rubriae fibulam ascendit. Rubria fibulam quam sora tenebat avide spectavit. So Vilbia, however, who, right, relative clause here describing Vilbia. Vilbia is feminine and singular, so quae, who was beautiful and stubborn, right? These are first and second adjectives. They take first endings here because you're modifying a feminine, Vilbia, of course. She non faciebat flaki, her patrum. So she didn't give a hoot about her father, didn't care a bit about her father. Right? At least in the sense that she didn't care what he told her to do. Right? That's what's being said here, right? Um, so Flaccio may come back to another time, but it's not important right now. Pacula non lavit. So she does not wash the cups. So don't go get food there. They are dirty cups. Said rubria fibulum extended, but she extended. She shows her fibulum, her brooch. Rubria here is dative, right? Remember, ostendo frequently would have an accusative and a dative. You show something to someone. So she showed her brooch to rubria. Rubria, okay, the main verb here, the verb rubria is spectavit. She eagerly looked at fibulum, the brooch, and then a relative clause here describing the brooch, which her sister was holding. Right? Quam here is accusative because it's the object of tenebat. Right? So the brooch which her sister was holding. Soror, of course, is what declension. Has to be third, right? Rubria says, Quam pulchra, quam pretiosa est haec fibula mea Vilbia, eam ispicere velum. Quisti videtit, num argentia est. So, for quam with a positive adjective usually means how. So, how beautiful, how expensive is this brooch? My Vilbia? So, mea Vilbia must be what case? Has to be vocative, right? It's direct address. Remember, vocative looks like the nominative, except in the second declension singular, where US goes to E, IUS goes to I. Everything else will look the same as the nominative as this does. But context tells me that it's vocative, right? She's speaking to her directly. Okay, Willem here is a present subjunctive, a form that you don't see this year at all. You'll see it repeatedly in the readings, but the grammar, you don't see the present subjunctive. We will see the imperfect and the pluperfect subjunctive, but you don't see the present subjunctive until next year. So Willem here, take it as I would like. It comes from Wollo, right? Wollo, I want, right? Willem here, I would like, let's say. So Willem, I would like to inspecere am, to inspect it, to look closely at it. right? Eam, remember from the SAI id chart? Quis tibi dedit? Who gave it to you? Right? Tibi here, dative, right? Remember, do is something that frequently have an accusative and a dative. The accusative here is implied, right? And understood it, but then tibi, the dative, is there. So who gave it, tibi, to you? Noom, here the noom, surely not. So surely it isn't silver. Sane argentia est, modestus, miles romanus ea mihi dedit. Oh, wow, Modestus, okay. So clearly it is silver. Modestus, a Roman soldier, right? Miles, what declension? Third, right? It's nominative singular here. So it's got to be a third, right? Without an ending. And it's masculine because Romanus has a US ending. So it's a first and second adjective and it must be modifying a masculine. So Modestus, Roman soldier, dedit, gave, right? Perfect tense. Remember, duplicated consonants is a clue of the perfect of a perfect stem. So gave eam it to be eam, right? Looks like her. We would say it in English just because it's referring to a brooch. We would call a brooch an it, but it's feminine. The noun's feminine in Latin, so it says her. Qualis est hic miles. So what type is this soldier? Right? Hic from the hic coke again. What's this soldier like? Okay, esne. Don't be thrown by the nay. That just makes it a question, right? It's not really part of the word. The word is est. So remember, it's a question, though. So is he a homo mendax? Is he a liar man, a lying man, a dishonest man? Sicut, just like, a good word to know. Ceteri milites Romani, the other Roman soldiers. Multi milites vonera fingant. So many soldiers fingant, they fake vonera, neuter plural, right? A from vonus. They fake injuries. Okay, quad here, neuter, but if it's going to be the relative pronoun, it'd have to have a neuter singular object. We don't have one. That's neuter plural. So not even worth thinking about that. So it's got to be because. So because they want, right, Woolens, they want to do the infinitive, avoid the accusative, pericula, neuter plural, the dangers, belly, of war. See how the genitive plays in there? Dangers of war. Modestus quoque ignavus est. Modestus is also cowardly. Right? Ignavus can be cowardly or lazy. Context here suggests cowardly, right? These soldiers who are faking injuries to get out of the fight. Right? Their empire needs them. Cowards. Minime, no. Es vir maximi virtutis. No, he is a man, genitive of description, right? Of the greatest virtutis, virtue, or maybe courage. Right? Virtus, we get the word virtue from it, but Latin in this period is kind of a martial virtue, a manly virtue. So being good at war, being courageous. So a man of the greatest courage. Once he it, he killed 3,000 of the enemy. This is a part of genitive, so an amount of something, 3,000 of the enemy. Hostium is a third declension genitive plural. Right? Third declension genitive plural engine um, sometimes ium, as it does here. Right? If we haven't talked about iStem features, we will. I have a handout on that I give out at some point. So once he killed 3,000 soldiers. We're just saying English, right? In Latin, 3,000 of soldiers. I'm sorry, of enemies, hostium, enemies, not soldiers, enemies. Now, custoded, he guards legatum ipsum, the legates himself, right? Legate's a officer of the legion. So now he guards the legate himself. Ipsum going legatum. So the legatum himself, right? Intensifying. Hercules alter est, ego altum talis fabulus saepe ex aliis militibus audivi. So he is alter Hercules. He's another Hercules. Ego altum talis. So I, okay, what's your verb? Audivi. I heard the accusative, talis fabulous. I heard such stories. Altum was just but, right? So, but I heard such stories often. Then all we have left is a prepositional phrase, ex aliis militibus, from other soldiers. So he's another Hercules, but I have heard, right? With a perfect, I can say have. Pluperfect takes had, remember? But I have heard such stories often from other soldiers. Wilby is not going to take that. Cateri milites mendaces sunt, modestus probus, modestus huc vadet ager, modestus in termas ingressus aquam sacrum bibit, modestus deum sulum peccatus statum convaluit. Other soldiers sunt are mendaces liars. Modestus probus, modestus honest. Modestus is understood honest, right? So other soldiers are mendaces liars. Modestus honest. Modestus is honest. He's not like all the other ones. Modestus wanet long ease was perfect. He came hook. This isn't a hikai koke word. This is hook here. Means here. To here. To be more precise. Also, you will see a hic word with a macron, which also is not a hikai koke word. It's here. So hook here is hook here is to here. So to here. So Modestus came here, as in to here. Iger sick. Modestus, okay, Modestus ingressus, having entered, right? And we have the prefix and the preposition. Remember, you have to. It's one idea, so you have to take it twice. So having entered the baths, drank the sacred water. Modestus, the verb here is convaluit. He statum convaluit. Modestus immediately got better. Deum sulum preccatus, having prayed Deum sulum to the goddess Sulis. Right? So preccatus, ingressus, both perfect active participles. Right? They come from deponent verbs. So ingressus not having been entered, but having entered. Preccatus not having been prayed, but having prayed. Right? Perfect active participles. Right? And preccatus has a direct object, so that's a clue that it's going to be perfect active. There's not a million perfect actives. There's a list that I may have already shown you of the most common ones, and you'll get used to seeing the ones that you're likely to come across. Okay, so immediately got better. Right? It's a miracle. He was so sick, then he got better so fast. Dysentery non alsum, quomodo huic tam mirabile militi Eucharisti. So alsum is another present subjunctive, right? So I would dare. So it's from audio I dare. So present subjunctive, I would dare. I would not dare dysentere, to disagree. I would not dare disagree. Quomodo how, right? This can be one word or two. So how, okay, what's our verb? Eucharisti. Isti, you singular, perfect tense. So how did you run into, right? Okay, Tom here, not what we're looking at. Huic mirabile militi, they're all datives, right? Tom here's an adverb, right? So huic mirabile militi, all what case? Dative, right? Eucharisti is a verb that takes a dative. Remember I've mentioned before, a lot of verbs have prefixes, and this is koro with a prefix. We'll take a dative, and this is no exception. So Eucharisti here takes a dative. So object of a special verb, remember we called that. So how, quomodo, did you run into this Tom so remarkable a soldier? So object of a special verb here, dative. Similac tiberum nostrum intravit, modestus am statum amavi. Sorry, read that kind of awkwardly. So the first verb is intravit. Entered. Is there a nominative? Yeah, modestus. Surprisingly, a little bit for what you may be expecting. It comes after it. Remember, it could come anywhere. So Modestus entered. Okay, Similac, as soon as Modestus entered, and then the accusative here is in front of it, our shop. So as soon as he entered our shop, Modestus, right? So as soon as Modestus entered our shop, right? She saves Modestus for the end here. He's the subject of introvit. Doesn't matter where he is. So as soon as he entered, am statum amawi. So immediately statum amawi am. I loved him. Well, she's hard to win over. Quanti erant lacerti eius. Eius, remember that's genitive from the is, a, id pronouns. Remember, pronouns in the genitive singular, they're going to end in ius. That's no exception. It doesn't matter what the gender is. So masculine, feminine, or neuter singular, the genitive singular is Eius, E-I-U-S. So it could be his or her. It's his here because it's talking about Modestus's muscles, right? So how great were his muscles, or how large maybe. How large brachia, his arms. We'll see a picture of him later. Her standards are not too high. Maybe he's the interesting out-of-towner. Really, I think she's doing all this to make her boyfriend jealous. I think you might come to that conclusion too, but I'll leave it up to you to form your own conclusion. Tibi favet fortuna. So fortune favors you, right? Favia, remember that's a verb that takes a dative. Object with special verb to be here. So fortune favors you. My Vilbia, of course, vocative, right? Autem, but. Quid de bulbo dicus? Verb dicus, you say what? Do you say de bulbo about bulbus? Whom once you were loving, or whom once you loved, we might say. Just keep in mind it's not a simple complete act, it's a process over time. Est, it is periculosum, dangerous, tibi, for you. It is dangerous for you, bulbum contemnere, right, to reject, despise bulbus. Because res magicas intelligent. He understands, knows about magic stuff, magical things. He's a magic man, mama, right? He knows magic. He'll put a spell on you. Nolum elam pestum commemorare. So noli plus infinitive. Remember that's how we do a negative command. Noli is to one person. Noli te will be to two people or more. So this is singular. Don't mention that pest. Pestum is feminine here, as you'll notice. I wouldn't read too much of that, ladies. Bulbus. Saipe de matrimonio locutus. So bulbus, locutus, they go together, right? Locutus here, another perfect active participle from loquor, deponent. We'll see the full verb later. So locutus, having spoken. That's a very common one. All these are common ones that we've seen. So bulbus, having spoken, right? We also watched that Picard video of locutus, right? So bulbus, having spoken often de matrimonio, often about marriage. Neo umquam effecit. He carried out nothing ever. So he didn't never do anything about it. He effecit. He carried out nothing ever. He never carried anything out. You get what she's saying here, right? Sed modestus qui fortissimus et audacissimus est me curare potest. So modestus, relative clause describing Modestus, who is very brave and very bold. Right? Two superlatives, right? Issimus is able to curare me, is able to take care of me. See what I mean about maybe she's just trying to make this Bulbous jealous because she's upset that he hasn't proposed to her. So maybe she's using Modestus, who as a soldier is only going to be in town so long, to try to make him jealous, maybe. I think it's a pretty good theory. I've held it for a long time. Modestus nunc est asperium meum. So Modestus now is my heartthrob. Now he is. As soon as he walked in, I loved him. That big hunk of man. All right, so that's Wilbia. Like her, hate her, that's her. If you hate her, she's only in this chapter. So Modestus we'll see all throughout the book. He's your comic relief this year. You don't know it yet, perhaps. Maybe I gave that away, but you'll see. He's entertaining. So that's the beginning of chapter 22. So until next time.